Sure, Buzz, I can make it. 8:30, you said? Okay. Yeah, I've got most of it done. Well, I finished my geometry and the physics and English. I figure I can get the Spanish done tomorrow in school. Besides, it isn't due until Thursday. Oh, that's right. Civics, I almost forgot. Well, that shouldn't be too hard. All I have to do is complete a list of the qualities I think make up a good citizen. Sure, it's an easy assignment. I ought to be able to finish it in about a half hour after I get back from the meeting. Yeah, all right, Buzz. I'll be there at 8:30. See ya. Bye.
Big meeting tonight?
No, not too big, Dad. Just a few of us getting together to talk over plans for the school cancer crusade.
Mm-hmm. Cancer crusade, huh? Community action. I said community action. You know, citizenship. Isn't there something like participation in community action on your citizenship list?
Nope, I can't find it. Well, maybe I've got it down here, but in different words. You want to take a look?
Sure, be glad to. A good citizen. A good citizen is aware of his privileges. A good citizen is aware of his obligations. A good citizen attempts to make his community a better one for all people. A good citizen keeps well informed of civic events that may not concern him personally. Well, I think you've got community action pretty well covered. This is the start of a good list, Larry. How long did it take you to do this?
Oh, about a half an hour, I suppose.
Well, writing about good citizenship is one thing. Living good citizenship is another.
Oh, sure, Dad. But I won't really be involved in citizenship until I'm old enough to vote.
Larry, you're wrong there. Right now, you're living good citizenship just as much as I am.
What do you mean?
I think I can show you that you're just as much a good citizen as I am.
Okay.
All right, let's start with your list. A good citizen is aware of his privileges. Now, one of these privileges is voting. And I don't mean just voting in national elections either. Every election is important. When our neighbors and I vote, we indicate the way we think certain issues of government should be handled. That's what I tried to explain to Charlie Gray last month when we had our election. You know, Charlie runs the clothing store on McCormick Boulevard. Well, business was good that day, so he wasn't sure he could take time off to vote. But you know how I felt about that election. I tried to persuade Charlie that his one vote was important, that voting was one of the ways he made his opinions known to people in government. I don't know if Charlie voted that day. I hope so. To have your views heard and your vote counted, those are very real privileges of citizenship. Now, you've had an experience just like that. I mean, an experience where you knew how important it was to vote.
I have?
Sure. What about that student council election a couple of months ago? How important was your vote then? Wasn't a friend of yours, let me think, Joan Benton running for office?
Well, if you put it that way, maybe my voting in that student council election was important. I've known Joan ever since we were freshmen. So, when she decided to run for the student council, I figured the least I could do was to help her campaign. I think I must have talked to more than half the kids at school, trying to convince them that Joan would do a good job in office. I really believed that she would do a good job. Yes, she was my friend, but she also knew the issues involved, and her opinions about them seemed right to me. Other kids felt the same way. When election day came, practically everybody turned out to vote. After helping Joan campaign, I began to realize that voting was probably the easiest part of an election. Sizing up the issues, and choosing the right candidates was the really tough job.
Sure, it can be a tough job. Voting may be a privilege of citizenship, but learning to vote intelligently is an obligation of citizenship.
Well, actually, then, I've been taking the privileges of citizenship without even knowing it.
That's right. I'm glad you realize that good citizenship does mean you as well as me.
Yeah, but does it mean me? I mean, well, okay, so a kid like me can vote in a student election. But that's about it. The whole story.
The whole story? No, I don't think so. We were talking about obligations, remember? Let's take another look at your list. A good citizen is aware of his obligations. All right, let me tell you about an experience I had that drove that point home to me, and see if it doesn't remind you of a similar experience. A couple of weeks ago, your Aunt Rose got a letter in the mail. At first, she was a little worried. But the letter turned out to be a request for Rose to work as an election watcher. In a way, it was an honor. Still, she'd have to be on duty from 6 in the morning till late at night. Well then, who would take care of the house and watch little Judy on election day? Of course, there would be inconveniences, Rose knew. Still, somebody had to be an election watcher. The obligations of citizenship go beyond your own home. So, on election day, Rose's family were on their own. And it wasn't easy. Yet in their own way, they were fulfilling their obligations of citizenship, just as Rose was fulfilling hers by taking on a job of election watcher. This is what it boils down to. Sometimes things come up that are bigger than our personal affairs. When things like that do happen,
Like the time you served on a jury and had to take time off from work.
Yes. For 2 weeks. Wasn't the best time to take off from work either. But as I said, when things like that do happen, then we simply have to give up for a while what we want to do personally. And that's what being aware of obligations means. See? All right? Now, how do the obligations of citizenship affect fellows and girls of your age?
I don't know.
Oh, come on now. You haven't forgotten your sister's class dance already, have you?
Oh, that. Yeah, I guess you're right, Dad. Probably Peggy didn't think of it that way. I remember the day a couple of her friends asked her to be on the committee to choose the decorations for her class dance. I think then she started to be aware of the obligations of good citizenship. Peggy wasn't sure she'd be able to help. After all, there was the problem of shopping around for a formal, and finding the time to do her homework, and helping Mom around the house. These were things she had to do. But at home that night, she thought it over. By giving up her spare time for a couple of weeks, she'd make a lot of people happy. If the girls still wanted her, she'd be glad to help on the committee. They still wanted her, all right, and for the next month or so, every minute of Peggy's spare time, and her girlfriend's, was spent in planning that dance. I suppose that's one of the reasons why the dance turned out to be such a terrific success. And maybe it was partly because some of Peggy's ideas went into it.
You might say that's one of the basic things of good citizenship, Larry. It helps us work and live together for the good of most people. Well, you've got it right here on your list. A good citizen attempts to make his community a better one for all people. Now, that can sometimes be a real problem.
How so?
Well, there are times when it's hard to figure out exactly how to make your community a better one. Let me put it this way. You know that large viaduct we have out at the south end of Chestnut Street? Well, I've never known it to fail. It'll always flood after a rain. It makes for dangerous driving, and it slows down traffic. Try to get down to work on time when you have to drive through that on a rainy day. Well, storm sewers at that end of town would take care of the situation. Some of our neighbors got together and drew up a petition asking the city council to take action. They've asked me to put my name on the petition too, but I don't know. Storm sewers will clear up a bad traffic problem. Still, it will mean higher taxes. And I'm not sure that I can afford to pay higher taxes.
Well, are you going to sign the petition?
I don't know. It's one of those things that Mr. Average Citizen, me, will have to think over very carefully.
I think you should sign it.
You don't pay taxes.
Yeah, that's true enough. But I think everyone's interested in having the place where they work or live look like something they can be proud of.
Yes, and it's an important but, too. Good citizenship shouldn't stop at what the people in a particular community want or do. As the fourth thing on your list says, a good citizen keeps well informed of civic events that may not concern him personally.
Just a minute, Dad. I think I can save you the trouble. I know what that one means. Right now, some of the kids are getting together at Buzz's house to figure out a way we can help in this year's cancer crusade. You know, something like doing the legwork on door-to-door contributions. Anything, so long as we know that what we do may help some people, no matter what community they live in. So, in a way, I guess we're practicing that side of citizenship without even thinking about it. Say, you know, I've been practicing good citizenship all along.
Yes, you have. There's a lot to it, isn't there?
There sure is. I thought these were just things to write down for an assignment. But actually, good citizenship helps to get things done and makes living with people a little bit more, well, satisfying, you might say. Say, I'm going to be late for that meeting.
But what about your civics assignment? Aren't you going to complete the list?
Oh, sure I will, Dad, as soon as I get back. I think I'll be able to do a better job now that I know that good citizenship means me, too. Thanks a lot for the tips.
You're welcome, I'm sure.
Tell Mom I'll be home early.
Okay. Well, I think he understands that good citizenship is for him. I wonder just how he'll complete this list of the qualities of a good citizen. I wonder how I'd complete it. Got any ideas?